Hey, welcome back to the shop in Toronto. This is James. This is Pinning Ferrules Part 2, coming to you a couple of days after Pinning Ferrules Part 1. I basically covered most of the methodology in the first one and the tools that you need. But again, you know, this is a teeny tiny drill bit that wants to break, and you want to use a drill press or have your electric drill even in those little hand kits you can buy to make them into a drill press. But I wouldn't try to do it by hand. So we've got two V blocks installed in the milling machine, and this comes in a kit I bought. I got two of these with two clamps, so that's what we're going to use. You'll notice, you can't really see this one, but you'll notice at the bottom of the V there is a notch, and that notch is clearance for the drill bit, which is great. And I know that the clearance required in this one is 0.110. So I've taken a drill bit number 35, which is exactly 0.110. So I'm going to put it in upside down. I've measured that. It's 0.110. And just make sure that it fits in the slot, which it does. So now we know that this V is perfectly centered to the drill. And I also use a DRO, which is a digital readout, so I also calibrate it that way. So I know I'm in perfect shape as far as centering. It has to be centered. So now I'm going to install this drill bit. This is that 0.039 drill. Again, this just wants to break. It wants to ruin your life. So you got to treat them with a lot of care and kindness, because they're very thin. And of course they're spinning at a high rate. And that's why you always test it, because it's crooked. I think I mentioned in the first video that drill chucks are rated by size. So this is a 0 to 3/8. Some drill press chucks don't go to 0 and they won't hold this bit. So you're either going to have to change that or figure something else. But because this is a small chuck, it fits that drill fine. Let's just test it again. Okay, there we go. So now, when we lay the rod in there, we know it's centered because it's sitting in the V. And we have to hold it in place. Now typically when you're drilling something, you may want to use a center drill or you may want to use a punch, but on these tiny drills, you can't. You just have to let them self-start. So let's put that there. And I'm going to take one of these and clamp that in place. Tighten that up. I'm going to lay a washer on here so I don't damage the bamboo. You could use a Teflon washer too if you had one, but this is a broken piece of bamboo, a broken rod tip, so I don't have to be too careful. Let's get that guy up out of the way. There we go. Snug that up. Okay, now everything's tight. You just have to do a final check as to where we're going to drill this. That's a good spot there. I think I mentioned on mine, I always use blued ferrule, so I'm always drilling them in through the serration tabs or part that is covered by thread. This isn't the greatest view now that clamp's in place, so let's just move that for you, and that's going to be a lot better. All right, I won't talk much now that the thing's on because it'll be noisy. Here we go. I was having trouble seeing because typically I have this light on, but because of the camera I turned it off, so I couldn't see when the drill was going through, but I saw it go down and it sparked because it touched the bottom of this hardened steel. So now we've got a nice through hole, and all that remains to do is to tap in the pin. So let's get this out of the way. And slide this down. So I got a little bit of clearance. Take the drill out before I break it. By using a small hammer, I don't bend the pin. There we go, all the way through. And that's the name of that tune. So what I would do now is snip those off. And probably good now with a little piece with some side cutters. Cut them down as much as I can. Then I'll file them, and then I'll stick them on the lathe, spin it, and clean it all up so you'll barely notice it. That's it. It wasn't very hard. The hardest part you'll notice when I wasn't talking was just letting the drill bit find its way. At first I saw it deflecting, so I lifted it up and started again, and I got good purchase. So there's a nice pin that's all the way through. It's easily knocked out with the punch that we talked about, and I've got a perfect mechanical lock. So that is it. The end of pinning ferrules, part 2. Hope you're in the shop having fun. If you have any questions, give me a shout at canebuilder@gmail.com or visit my Cane Builder channel. Hopefully you'll subscribe, and if you like it, click like. Thanks so much.